today, rabbit hunting today. Got 4 dogs, and well, hopefully we can have some good races. We're in a new location today. Just now turned the dogs loose. Hopefully we can have a good evening. I apologize for we ain't been on here in the last 3 or 4 days. It's set in raining the last 3 or 4 days, and it's flooded and everything, so we ain't been able to do no hunting at all. And this evening's first chance I've got to get out. We thought I'd try this place here today. Starting next week, we got to kind of hit a few other places, so I don't know how many days a week we'll be able to do the live until we can go back to our normal place when turkey season's out. And now this looks like it ought to be a good place. That's Rooster right there. Martha's right here behind me. I think training them's right down over in there. No, right there comes Train, and Rose is right back there. They get down right over in there, they should be able to jump one. I don't know how many rabbits is here. Or used to hunt this a long time ago, but it's been a while since I've hunted it. We'll be back in the morning, back to a regular spot the rest of this week, as long as it ain't raining or nothing. But hopefully we can have a race or two here. Well, we've got one that's open. I think he just opened because he's a little happy there. One of them's opening anyway. I don't know if they smell one or they act like a Train acts like he smells one right there. That's Rooster there. He's been known to get in trouble, so he's just 10 months old. We gotta watch him if them other dogs don't back him up. I do apologize again, not been on the last 2 or 3 days, but we've had so much rain that everything's been flooded, and this is the first chance I've been able to get back out here. Usually run in the mornings, but it was pouring rain again this morning, so I waited till this evening. But I don't think it's giving no rain tomorrow, so should be back out in the morning on normal schedule around 8 o'clock. Now if they get in there and hunt this, there should be some rabbits in here somewhere. Hopefully we can have a decent race or two. These dogs ain't been out since Wednesday, so they ain't been out in 4 or 5 days, so they probably feel pretty good. They've had plenty of days to rest. Train, right here. I need to get down over in this little valley right here where all these burrows are. It should be a good place for one to be sitting. Get in there. Just want to thank everyone for being on here watching today. And hopefully we can have a decent race or two. Train's going right over there where he needs to be. You get down right over in there, there should be some rabbits in there somewhere. Get in there, Rose. I didn't know how good my signal would be over here, to how good the picture would be, so that's the reason I thought I'd try it this evening. It's them boys, it's going to be a turkey hunt where we normally rabbit hunt at. Sound like they just jumped one. Sound like we're going to have a race. I figured there'd be some rabbits here. Probably pretty thick right down in there. It'd probably be rough for running down in there. That's sounding good though. Hopefully it'll come across through here where we can see it. Hi there, we're out here doing a little rabbit hunting. Having a pretty good race right now. It's like they just now broke down. Unless they went to the hole, but now I hope it didn't go to the hole that quick. But now they was pushing him pretty hard. Oh, right there it is. Well, we got to see the rabbit on camera. Looks like this could be a pretty good evening. Much rain we've had, it could be a little rough for them running. We've had a bunch of flooding the last 2 or 3 days. Well, they're sure having trouble. If that's the same rabbit they're running on. I'm sure it is. I never did hear for sure how many inches we got, but they was predicting 7 or 8, and that's how we got every bit of it. I figured there'd be some pretty good running here. Ain't nobody hunts this, so. I figured there'd be some good running right here. We'll holler and get them up here and show them where it's at. Here, train, right here it is, right here. Right here. Right here, Rose, right here. I think she smelled it. That's Rose there. That's it. When I come back up the hill, it went right around through there. I'd say it's hard for them to smell them right now, as wet as it's been. Trains picked it up back down there. And this time of year, it seems like certain ones of them is hard for them to track. They're mating right now and having littlings, and them does, they just have a terrible time tracking them. They're having a terrible time running this one right now. They're about to get it figured out. Or I hope they are anyway. They hit a good lick right there. I love hearing a good set of beagle hounds run. I just brought 4 this evening, probably have back out 6 in the morning. I usually run either 4 up to 6 is about as most I ever run, unless one of my buddies goes, and sometimes we'll have 8 or so. If it's just me though, I run either 4 up to 6 is most I run by myself. It can get to be a job trying to keep up with all of them. You get too many. Train, right here. Right here. Get him up here where he can figure out where it went. Right in here. Right here. Right here. If he ain't up the hill too far. He's down in there where it went. Him or Rose 1 should hit it. Rose is right in there where it went. You'd think they'd better pick it up. She can smell it. You're going the wrong way though. You need to turn around. Yeah, go that way. She's going the right direction. She can just figure it out. Train, if he can get up there and help her. They're working hard anyway on it. Oh, she's about to figure it out. I don't know how far they'll be able to run it, but they're opening up good again on it. They having a terrible time with this one. I'd say it's a little dog rabbit. Seems like they have awful time right this time of year where they're mating on trying to run them. I think I'd have seen it go right through that ditch there. Might not being it. They're trying, but now they're having a terrible time trying to run it. Trains back down through there in that little creek, or where I don't know if that's a creek or just where the waters are drained off where we've had so much water. But then the other three's right here. So thank all y'all for being on here watching this evening. It's going having pretty decent so far. They could be running a little better, but with all the rain we've had and stuff, it ain't too bad so far. At least we're having a little bit of a race. Well, they're having a hard time trying to figure this one out, though. There it went. I thought I seen it a while ago. It's hit that hill over there. They're giving him a run now. That's sounding good there. Walk over this way, it may come back across through this bottom. Kind of dropped over that little hill there. It's hard to hear them right now. They're still running good though. I think they broke down now. Ain't a near as big a place up here as where we normally hunt, but it seems like it's going to be a pretty decent place to fill in while the turkey season's in. You can see I had to ride the side by side back in here. It's about a half a mile walk if you walk it on foot. I'll bring him back this way. Right there he goes over against the bank. If I'm guessing, they just overrun him. They get excited every now and then and get to running fast. They overrun them sometimes. Rose is the slowest one of them all, but now she's good about figuring the checks out and real good about jumping them. She ain't near as fast as they are, but when they break down, a lot of times she can find it. They've lost it again. I was hoping we'd have some pretty good running over here. But they've picked it up again. And down there's the rabbit. One around on the edge of that brush right there. There it is. Well, we got a good look at him that time. Or her, whatever it is. We're in USA, in the state of Kentucky. I try to do this as many times through the day, many times through the week I can if the weather lets us. I ain't been on here in the last 2 or 3 days because it's been pouring rain for the last 4 or 5 days. I usually do it in the morning, but I may try to start doing it of evenings some too. I may switch off and on here next week or so. The turkey season ain't gonna be able to hunt my normal spot. I'm gonna have to start coming over here and maybe hitting another spot or two. We've had a pretty good race here though. They broke down there. They're about to figure it out, I think. That's that Rose. I was saying she's good on a check. She's about to figure it out there. This train opened up back down in there. If she'd just come on, she's got it right there. I don't know how much rain we got the last 4 or 5 days, but I know it flooded just about everywhere. Some places probably still flooded today. Usually have some pretty good running. This first time I've hunted over here in a while. I didn't know how good we'd do over here, but we're having a pretty good evening though. They're about to figure it out. It took them a minute, but they got it down. I figured they'd work it out there. Every now and then I'll help them if I know where it went, if I have to, but I figured they'd figure it out. They're having a trouble time trying to run it though. Well, they ain't doing bad for as much rain as we've had. Just want to thank all y'all again for being out here with me, and just being out here watching. And yeah, I know they're having a terrible time trying to run him. He gets a good run on them time they figure it out. But we've had about 8 or 10 inches of rain the last 4 or 5 days, so that's not helping them none. He should be able to run for a while. He's getting a pretty good break, getting plenty of time to rest. Now they're gonna run him again. Well, I thought they was. Maybe they get him up there on that hill. They can get him lying back out. But I agree with you, they having a terrible time trying to run this one. I didn't know how good we'd even do today, as much rain we've got. We're actually doing better than I figured we would. And now they've either lost it or it's went in the hole up there on that bank one. And either one of them could be possible, because they've had a terrible time trying to run it. Tara, I said hi. Tara, she ought to be on here watching. I just want to thank all y'all for being on here watching again today, and hopefully they can get this and figure it out, and we can have some more good running. Is it blurry today? The picture ain't good. I don't know if that one's wet in the hole or what's happened to it. Hang on a minute, let me see if I can switch over to that. Now see if that helped it. Did that help it there or not? Is that better? Well, that's the service we'll have to run on when we're over here. You too, and hopefully we run over here, I can run on this service and the picture will be better. Train right here. I think we might as well move on. Yeah, we got 4 beagles today. We've had a pretty good race, but they've had a terrible time trying to run it, so might as well try to move them on around here and see if we can jump another one. Train, come on! Wasn't a bad race, but they broke down a lot on it. Yeah, we've got 4 beagles right there. There's 3 of them. Then right here's Train. Train's a butcher dog. He's directly out of the butcher dog, if you know anything about the butcher breed around here. And I think Mary Lou's, she's directly out of the butcher dog too. Her and the rooster dog belongs to a buddy of mine. I didn't know how good my signal would be over here. That's one reason I thought I'd come over here and try it today to see how everything would work. Didn't even know really how good a running we'd have over here. We've had about 8 or 10 inches of rain the last 4 or 5 days. Seems like it's rained for a week. I'm usually out here doing this every day. And I ain't been out here since last Wednesday. I try to run every day, or at least 4 or 5 days a week if the weather's lets me. Hopefully we can get them right back over here and they can jump another one. Come on, right here. I jumped that one right back over in there a while ago. Hopefully they can get right down in there somewhere and jump another one. Get in there, Train. It's pretty thick down there. There ought to be plenty of rabbits up in here. And there's plenty of water though. Train, right here. Get in here. They get right down over in there. That should be a good place for them to jump on. Rose, right here. Get in here. Right down in there is where they need to be. Get in there, Rose. Hopefully they can jump us another one and have another decent race. They ain't having much luck finding another one, but they get in there and hunt like they need to, I think they will. Train, get in here. Get in there. That should be a good spot right over in there for him to jump one. This is a new place for me, so I don't know how many rabbits is over here or what. I used to hunt this a long time ago, but I ain't hunted it in forever. But hopefully we've jumped one. Hopefully we can jump at least one more. They're all down over the hill there where they should, hopefully they can find another one. It should be a good spot for one to be a setting anyway. They like this thick briars and all this cover here. Train, get in here. Get in there. Train, get over in here. Right here. You want to get over the hill, son. You ain't going to find nothing up here on top. Keep working our way right around this bank here, and hopefully they'll jump one around this bank somewhere here. Get in here, Train. Train's a pretty good jump dog. I've had him about probably about 4 years, somewhere in there. I'd have to look at his paper to see how old he is. He's either 5.5 or 6. I got him around when he was 2-year-old. He's either 1.5 years, 2-year-old when I got him. He's a pretty good hound. He's getting a little age on him. He barks a little early now than he used to, but that don't bother me none. Now that ought to be a real spot for a rabbit to be a setting along down in there. We'll have 6 back out here in the morning hunting with us. I'll bring all 6 dogs in the morning. That should be a real spot right in there for them to jump one out there. There'll be some pretty good hunting up in here. For turkey season coming in next week, I had to figure out a few different spots to hit till them boys tags out or till turkey season goes out one. Whichever comes first. Once they tag out or season goes out, then we'll go back to my normal spot and hunt it. That's one good thing I like about that spot. It's a big old place and plenty of rabbits. This ain't a real big spot, but there should be plenty of rabbits here because there ain't nobody hunts it. I don't know how bad the coyotes and all that stuff is on them. Which there's about plenty of them everywhere you go. In some places, next couple of weeks while them boys are turkey hunting, some days I may just record it and either play it on my computer while we're live or just upload the videos, or however we gotta do it until we get through turkey season. I don't turkey hunt, so I rabbit hunt the whole way through season. About the only other thing I do besides turkey hunt, I deer hunt, or rabbit hunts, I deer hunt a little bit in the fall. Can't do no rabbit hunting what time deer season's in, so I try to do a little deer hunting. Yeah, I love rabbit hunting. Like I said, I don't do no turkey hunting. Do a little bit of deer hunting in the fall. In the wintertime when gun season's in, when I can't get out and do no rabbit hunting. Yeah, I'm just running dogs. I usually just run dogs all year round. I hardly ever kill any rabbits where I run so much, doing so much training. If I kill very many, then you ain't got none to run. So about the only time I ain't running rabbit hounds is during the gun season to deer season. Or that's the weather just won't let me, like the last 4 or 5 days. Train, right here. Get in here. Usually average about 10, 12 mile a morning on them. You'd think there'd be another one sitting around here somewhere. I figured surely we could jump one more. They sure plenty of brush and briars and stuff for them to be in here. They in a real spot right there for one to be sitting in there. Get in there, Train. Y'all have a lot of rabbits there. Now that ought to be a good spot right in there for them to jump on if they could just find one there. Some places here has got, like my normal spot, it's got a lot of rabbits in it, but there's some places here that ain't got as many as others. For squirrels, there's some places it's plumb full of squirrels, and there's some places ain't hardly got very many. I think raccoons are everywhere. I don't think there's very many people that hunts them anymore, so. And about everywhere is full of coyotes. There ain't near enough people to hunt them coyotes, so everywhere you look, they're full of coyotes. Now where we normally hunt at in the mornings, it's plumb full of rabbits, and which we still have bad days there too, or not as good as days. Some days it's hard to jump one there, but that goes with it when you're hunting. You never know what kind of day you're gonna have, but I usually always jump one or two anyway. Now this would be a good spot for rabbits to be sitting in here. I never did hunt this spot very much because it's hard to get to. And if you ain't got a side by side or something, it's about a half a mile or a mile walk back in here to get to it. Well, now they're hunting hard, but they're having trouble trying to find another one. But I want to thank y'all again for being on here watching today. Hopefully we can at least jump one more before we quit this evening. I ain't gonna promise we will, but I hope we do. And some places here we've got a lot of deer, and some places they ain't as many. Place where I'm at, they several. I mean, it ain't overrun with them, but and there's parts here that's is plumb full of deer. That's probably about like it is everywhere. I mean, you can go one county to the next and see a big difference in the rabbit population or deer, either one. This place that I'm at here, it's usually got a lot of deer on it. Rose, get in there. I'm hoping we can jump at least one more. We're in the state of Kentucky in the USA. Yeah, some parts Kentucky's got some big deer, and like I said earlier, some places they've been poached so bad that they ain't hardly got no deer. But yeah, Kentucky's got a lot of big deer in it. I hear you there. I've always lived right here in Kentucky. I was raised here in Kentucky. Train, get in there. I've hunted a few other places. I've hunted in Ohio a few places, and then I've hunted in West Virginia, and it's about the only other states I've hunted in. Hi, Jess. You're kind of late getting on. And one thing about Kentucky, you never know what the weather's going to be like. It'll be summertime one day and wintertime the next. Yeah, I see that. I've never hunted in Virginia, but I've hunted in West Virginia. Do a lot of fishing in up there around Ohio, in the Ohio River. I heard that. Figured they might have a chance right around that edge of them woods right there where them burrows are. I always fish for catfish. I've never been much of a bass fisher. I never did learn much about bass fishing, so I've always catfished all my life, so that's about the only thing I know how to do. I don't know much about bass fishing. I love catfishing though. If you get in a spot where it's got some fish in it, that's the only thing about us. We got to drive about 2 hours to get to somewhere that's got some decent fish. Yep. I order my bait offline and stuff and do pretty good on the channel cats. Usually it's what I fish for. Train, get in there. And we catch some yeah, we catch some blues every now and then. I've never caught no big ones. We've started down there where we fish at, started catching them shads and stuff and fishing with them. So we're doing a little better about catching the blues and the flatheads and stuff. That ought to be a good spot right over in there for them to jump on. That Ohio River's got some huge blue cats and some huge flatheads. Yeah, I order my bait offline. It's called Triple S Cheese. And it works real good. If you're fishing for channel cats and stuff, it works real good. You'll catch a few. Yeah, it's really stinky. I mean, it stinks to like nothing else you ever smelt. If you're fishing for channel cats, it's usually some real good bait. Yeah, my wife will normally bait her own hook and stuff, and she don't like fooling with that. Rose, get in here, right here. You'd think there'd be some rabbits sitting right there in here. This ought to be a real spot in here. Now, there may not be a whole lot of rabbits over in here. Like I said, this is the first time I've hunted this in years, so I didn't know how many rabbits would be here or if it'd be any. Yeah, they should be. But now they've got a bunch of coyotes too, so I don't know how bad they've hurt them this winter. And like I said, we've had about 8 inches of rain the last 4 or 5 days, so that's probably not helping things none neither. You can see all the water where it's rained. Used to run over here a lot, but I got that place where I'm running at now, and it's right next to home, so I ain't been over here in a long time. I hear you on that. At least I had a pretty good race on the first one this morning anyway, or this evening anyway. But they may fool around here in a minute and jump another one. It ain't been a bad evening either way. Anytime you can have at least one good race, it's been a pretty decent day. I have went and not jump a rabbit. I definitely don't like them days there. Like I said, I've got some other places that we'll try. I just don't know how good the signal will be there. I don't know if I'll be able to do live there or if I just have to record it. Get in there, Rose. You can see all the water where it's rained for the last 4 or 5 days. That may be a lot of it reason I ain't jumping very many. I don't know how good them rabbits be stirring. You'd think they'd be stirring good after all that rain. Get in there. Yeah. I've got some spray that I spray my kennels and everything with, and it helps a bunch on for those ticks and fleas, and I still give them a peel too. But I've got some spray. It's like a garden spray. You can spray it on the garden or the dogs or anything. It's got lithium tin in it, and it's real good on the ticks and stuff. I try to worm my dogs regular too. Try to worm them at least once a month. Then, like I said, through the summertime, I spray their kennels pretty regular, probably usually at least twice a week, or twice a month, I mean. And that helps them a lot on the ticks and fleas and stuff. And I got my dogs up on a kennel up off the ground, so that helps a lot with the fleas and ticks. Which, I mean, don't when they're out here, but But I think that keeping them up off the ground helps them a lot with ticks, fleas, and worms and everything. Train, get in here. Get over in here. Yeah, person spend a fortune on them before you know it. Yeah, I buy worm medicine, and like I said, I buy worm flea pills, and that, or do flea collars. Or I ain't really done flea collars in a long time, but I seen a guy online doing them the other day. I thought about trying them. They was cutting them and tying them to the regular collars, and I don't know how good that would work, but I thought about trying it. And like I said, I spray them and the kennels with that Palladium 10, and it seems to help real good. I can't be talking about how much I spend on here, though. My wife's on here watching, so she'll hear me. They in a good spot right there to jump one. Well, they run through there a while ago, but they didn't actually hunt that. Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Like see where rabbits went and holler at them, put them on the rabbit, and they have trouble tracking it for some reason. Like when they was running that one earlier, and they couldn't ever figure out where it went, and I hollered at them, showed them where it was at, and it took them forever to pick that rabbit back up, and that rabbit just went through there. I didn't know if that was actually a thing, but now I've always thought they have trouble picking them back up when you show them where it's at sometimes. Well, they're down there in a real spot to jump one. They jumped that other one way right on around through there. They run that one around through here, but they didn't actually hunt this, so I was hoping they might get lucky and jump another one right out there. Where it's mating season, a lot of times they run two together. But I really didn't know if they could just shut off their scent or what happens. But I said I've seen them have trouble picking it up when when the rabbit comes right by you and you try to show the dogs where it's at. Now they're having a terrible time trying to jump another one though. But I want to thank all y'all for being on here watching today and being out here with me. I try to do this 4 or 5 days a week if the weather permits. And I'd say as the weather gets hotter, we'll probably do a lot more of evenings and late of evenings and some early in the mornings when this weather starts getting up real hot. Yeah, it looks like it ought to be some good rabbit hunting. I ain't hunted this in years. Used to hunt it all the time, but now we've only jumped. We've been here an hour and 5 minutes and only jumped one rabbit. now there's a lot of coyotes over in here too, so. And it could be just cause we've had about 8 inches or 10 inches of rain the last 4 or 5 days too, so. But now I'll be back in a good spot in the morning. We should have some good running up there tomorrow. If we don't, it'll be because of the weather, because I know there's plenty of rabbits up there. But now I'll probably hit this one more time next week and see what kind of running I have. But I've got some other places that I can hunt too, just don't know how good a phone service I'll have there. And I may go try it one evening this week to see what kind of service we'll have. Yeah, this ought to be some real rabbit country in here. My other spot's about 3 minutes from my house, and this is about 30 or 40 minutes. So, usually I hunt that other spot, and these probably 600 to 1,000 acres there, and we've got probably 200 or 300 acres here or something, to hunt on all together. They're right down there in a good spot to jump on if they can just jump one out there. Well, they ain't having much luck at it. On my time, it's 4:25. I normally run in the morning about 8 o'clock in the morning. Usually do this about every morning if the weather will let me. Which I've just started doing this back in, I started this channel back in January the 30th, so I'm still new with this live feeding videos and all that. So I've rabbit hunted for as long as I can remember, but this video and stuff, I'm new to it. But I think we'll call it a day here. I don't know if they're going to jump another one or not. If y'all ain't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. I thank all y'all for being on here watching and hitting that like button. And I'll be back on here in the morning around 8 o'clock if the weather permits, and hopefully we can jump 2 or 3 more. Yeah, I'm running, before I leave, I'm running the 300 Garmin. Yeah, you can run them a night or whatever with these Garmins. But be back on here tomorrow morning, and just want to thank y'all again for being on here with me. But this is going to be it for this evening, and hopefully I can see y'all in the morning. Thank y'all.